Good morning. Here it is, Friday, November 15th. Here's what we're working on. Canada Post is on strike this morning after the union failed to reach a deal with the Crown Corporation.
Vigil was held last night for the man who was shot and killed during a police interaction last weekend.
And the Beach Boys are heading to the Fallsview Casino. We made it to Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
This is an important day for you. Do you want to share with the class?
So my Alexa this morning told me, because my husband keeps great records on things, thank you, Daniel, that today, 20 years ago today, was my first shift on Morning Live.
Wow, 20 years.
Yeah. That's a lot of alarms.
Getting up at the crack of silliness for many, many years.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. It's flown.
That's what happens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's a real accomplishment. So,
it is.
Congratulations.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Over the years.
Yeah. Well, honored to be a little bit a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. How you doing? Oh, he's got his turtleneck on today.
Yes. Today. He's bucking the trend.
Were you 2 days? So I'm 2 days late in the dollar shorts.
Yeah.
There you are. I catch up eventually.
Yeah, no tie, bow tie kind of day, as it always is on Fridays.
Yep.
There we go. How are we looking today? Well, a little soggy out now.
Yeah, it is. We had a fair bit of shower activity yesterday into the evening and overnight, and now we're getting drizzle. It's just a drizzly start to our morning, so the roads are wet. It's very light drizzle right now. Skies are cloudy. Temperature is on the mild side at the moment. We're sitting at 6 degrees. I mean, that's way above seasonal, and we're going to climb to 9 degrees, about where we got to yesterday. Not looking at any sunshine today. A little bit of sunshine for tomorrow. We're going to call it a mostly cloudy day, but it will be a bit milder. So the weekend does tend to get better. At least we'll kick away the precipitation and the drizzle that we'll get on and off throughout the day today. We'll talk about that coming up. Quick check on traffic. And as usual, this time of the morning, there's not a lot happening. Here's the 403 on Waterdown Road. Moving nicely. Nothing to see there. That's one of our exclusive cameras. To the MTO traffic cameras, Centennial Parkway, coming out of Stony Creek toward the Skyway Bridge looks good. Top of the Skyway, nothing, but you'll notice, of course, the wet roads that we have right now because of that drizzle. So we'll keep you posted. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up. Right now, the news.
Open email traffic today. Canada Post workers are on strike this morning after failing to reach a deal with their employer. Simone Gavras joins us now from the Canada Post facility in Stony Creek with more.
Well, Annette, about 55,000 workers with the union are going to be on strike as of today nationwide, as of 12:01, including here at this location here in Stony Creek on Millen Road. Now, you can see there's about 10 or so workers that are here this morning. They've been here since as of 12:01 when that strike began, and they're here with their signs, Hamilton Local on strike, as well as their flags, as they were unable to come to an agreement with their employer by the deadline of 12 o'clock. And they say that there has been little progress made as those negotiations have been ongoing for nearly a year. Now, the main sticking points are around wage increases, safe working conditions, pensions, and expansion of post office services. The union issued their 72-hour strike notice earlier this week, putting the pressure on for a deal to be reached. Canada Post says that the national operation shutdown will affect millions of Canadians and businesses across the country. Customers will experience delays with mail and parcels. They'll not be delivered for the duration of the strike, and some offices will be closed as well. Matt Poirier is the Vice President of Federal Government Relations with the Retail Council of Canada. He says that many retailers are frustrated about back-to-back labor disruptions.
They're frustrated. They've had everything thrown at them in the last few weeks, and it's their busiest time of the year where they're usually going full out at that time to meet customers' demands. So this, again, couldn't come at the worst time for retailers, and the options exist, but because everyone might be jumping for alternative sources of delivery, then it usually results in price spikes or lack of supply for alternatives too, because everyone's rushing to it at the same time.
Now, the president for the local branch of postal workers here in Hamilton says she'll be here around 7 a.m. So we're hoping to speak to her later today for more reaction about this strike that started as of 12:01 today. For now, Tim, I'll send things back to you.
All right, thanks, Simone. Well, last night at Hamilton City Hall, a vigil was held for Erickson Cabrera, the man who was shot and killed during a police interaction last weekend. More than 100 people gathered in front of City Hall demanding justice for Cabrera, his family, and the community. Afterwards, the crowd marched to Hamilton Police Headquarters to rally in front of the building. Here's some of that reaction.
He's a very kind soul. He was very involved into the community. And we need to make sure that my brother gets justice.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We need to make sure that whoever killed my brother pay for this. Because he didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it whatsoever.
Meantime, loved ones sat down with CHCH ahead of last night's vigil. Erickson Cabrera's family and friends are leaning on each other for support after he was shot last Saturday following the interaction with police. The case is being investigated by the SIU, and it has only spurred more questions than answers.
We're looking for justice. You know, that's the main goal here: transparency and the truth of what happened. We were really we were angry, right? We were upset. It was sudden. The death was sudden. So, you know, and so that makes you ask questions. You know, you want to know why, you know, why it happened.
So in a statement earlier this week, Hamilton's police chief said, and he trusts the SIU will work to address the many unanswered questions in a timely, transparent manner.
City of Hamilton is taking a bigger hit than expected from a cybersecurity incident earlier this year. The cost so far is now $9.6 million. That's up from a reported cost of $7.4 million in July. A ransomware attack February 25th shut down some of the city's IT systems. City staff will present a report to a council committee next week outlining the costs for the response, recovery, restoration, and rebuilding. The Hamilton Jewish Federation hosted an event last night to raise awareness about anti-Semitism. Federal Cabinet Minister Philomena Tassi and MP Anthony Housefeather, who is the federal government's special advisor on Jewish community relations and anti-Semitism, they were both there. They talked about the government's relationship with Canada's Jewish community as part of the Federation's Holocaust Education Week.
It's heartbreaking and angering to see the abrupt rise in anti-Semitism in our city and across our country. Anti-Semitism has no place in Hamilton nor in Canada, and our government is taking action against anti-Semitism because Hamilton and Canada should be places where Jewish people feel secure and free.
This year is better than last year at colleges and universities. More and more people every day, certainly in the federal government, certainly in the Federal Liberal Caucus, are recognizing the outrageous amount of anti-Semitism in our society and are determined to confront it. And I know that we will overcome and things will get better.
Now, MP Anthony Housefeather says the biggest concern from the Jewish community is the pro-Palestinian demonstrators on streets and campuses. He's called for Samadown to be listed as a terrorist group, citing its role in these hate-driven protests, some of these hate-driven protests, and emphasized that anti-Semitism is a global issue and not a Canadian one. Security very high at a soccer match between France and Israel following recent anti-Semitic violence in Amsterdam. There was a brief scuffle in the stands, but security prevented a repeat of the unrest last week in the Dutch capital. In Paris, there were 4,000 police officers, 1,600 stadium staff at this match. They set up an anti-terrorist perimeter around the arena. Despite this, whistles were heard during the Israeli national anthem, upsetting visiting fans. The match ended in a 0-0 draw with no further violence.
Sportsline Grey Cup weekend, it has arrived, and memories of Hamilton hosting last year has us thinking about our friends in Vancouver who are hosting the 111th version coming up on Sunday. Last night, CFL Awards with Ticats Bo Levi Mitchell up for Most Outstanding Player.
And the George Reed Most Outstanding Player is
Tim Brady
Oliveira.
Yeah, but as expected, he lost out to the West nominee and Bombers running back Brady Oliveira, which wasn't a surprise as he did lead the league in rushing for the first place Bombers, who are back in the big game for a 5th straight year. The Winnipeg native lost MOP to Chad Kelly last season, but won Most Outstanding Canadian last year, and did it for his 2nd straight year this year. He had over 1,800 yards from scrimmage, that is. Ticats were shut out to the awards as Edmonton's Nick Anderson beat out the Cats' Shamar Bridges for Most Outstanding Rookie. So now the focus, it shifts to the big game on Sunday, where the Bombers try to avoid losing for a 3rd straight time in the Grey Cup, which included 2 years ago in Regina to the Argos. Toronto back in the game despite not having their starting QB, Chad Kelly, who broke his leg in the East Final last weekend in Montreal. Winnipeg, after an 0-4 start to the season, turned out that they really turned it on with Zach Collaros and crew leading the way. So kickoff from BC Place in Vancouver just after 6 o'clock. Jonas Brothers, the Joe Bros, reminder, performing the halftime show.
Now Draisaitl with McDavid, 2-on-1, Draisaitl across, one-timer score! 1,000!
Now a special night in Edmonton, and there was little doubt Connor McDavid would not reach the 1,000 point mark with his dad in the building, but set up by his pal Leon Draisaitl, McDavid would score his 6th of the season to reach the mark in 658 games, which is only behind Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Mike Bossy for the fastest all time. He also recorded points 1,001 in overtime with a very pretty setup to Hamilton's Darnell Nurse coming up right here, who would score his 2nd of the night and give the Oilers the 3-2 win over at Nashville. They head this way now. They're taking on the Maple Leafs at Scotiabank Arena tomorrow night.
Heads off, looking for a new one. Instead changes. Cousins is on. 30 seconds to go. Move for Dahlin! Score!
Plenty of overtime last night in the league, including down the road in the Queen City, as Rasmus Dahlin would give St. Louis the Blues, score in the OT winner to lift the Sabres to a 4-3 win. And after a slow start for them, they've won 4 of 5 games. Got more OT for you right here.
Cuts on in, tried to drive it back, it went off a stick, and actually does get to it to Michkov. Michkov from the angle, he scores!
You know, despite being up by a couple goals in the 3rd, the Senators unable to hold off the Flyers as 19-year-old Matvei Michkov scores the OT winner as Philly leaves the nation's capital with a 5-4 win. Wasn't the only good news for the city of brotherly love.
So the call is on the ground, and a first down, and a ton more. Barkley, touchdown.
Yeah, what a 4th quarter for the Philadelphia Eagles and their running back, Saquon Barkley. Philly would put up 20 points in the final frame to rebound after a slow start and win a 6th straight game, beating their NFC rivals, Washington Commanders. 26-18, Barkley would romp for 146 yards, 2 TDs. Eagles are 8-2. Week 11 got underway. Big game goes Sunday. Undefeated Chiefs in town to face off against them Bills.
13 minutes after 6 o'clock, halfway through the month of November now, the 15th of the month here. We're looking at wet roads this morning, and we'll talk traffic first of all before we get to the forecast. So looking at the 403 and Waterdown Road, that is moving nicely. So, you know, Friday, the volume is usually a little bit less, and that's the way it is so far today. To our MTO traffic cameras, St. Catharines, first of all, you'll notice the haze, particularly as you look at the light standard there. That's some light drizzle that we're getting at the moment. No problems on the road. Centennial Parkway to the 403 junction heading toward Brant Street, all doing nicely. Trafalgar Road, now Toronto-bound lanes are coming towards us here. And the same thing at Cooksville Creek. We have no problems in the Horseshoe at all, just the wet road. So going to be a little slippery, be careful. Temperature at the moment is on the mild side. We are way above seasonal to start a morning this time of year. We're sitting at 6 degrees right now. Winds are light. Humidity is up there, and we do have that light drizzle right now. So for school today, yeah, drizzle on and off actually could last. It's in the forecast for the morning, but we could get it lingering later on. But a 9-degree high for the day today and fairly light winds. We have this low pressure system. It is going to dissipate, but it's going to keep influencing us for today, even into tomorrow as we hang on to some cloud cover. Even though that ridge of high pressure is going to try to clear up the skies, we'll have a fair bit of cloud cover hanging on even into Sunday as well. So today, temperatures 9, 10, 11 degrees. That drizzle hangs on. At least the winds will be fairly light for the day today with that cloud cover. Tonight, the clouds stick around and temperatures, well, a little bit cooler than we are right now, anywhere from 1 to 2, 3, and 4 degrees, depending on where you are. And then tomorrow, our temperatures get a little bit better. We'll hit double digits, and we will get some sunshine for tomorrow. It, mix of sun and clouds to a mostly cloudy sky, area dependent, of course, but yeah, at least we'll see some sun and it'll be a touch milder for your Saturday. So out the door this morning, 15th of November, we are about an hour away from sunrise, so it is cloudy. It is light drizzle at the moment, and temperature is 6. And we'll check long range coming up. Annette, Tim.
Okay, coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily, find out what's to come in Chit Chat. Here's what's to come in business news. The Ontario government has signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Elon Musk's SpaceX. What's it going to do for high-speed internet in the province? We'll find out. And let's say good morning to Emily. Hello.
Hi, good morning. I came into the studio singing Taylor Swift because how could I not? And I got in trouble. Who sings that song?
I was not in trouble.
From this guy.
Yeah.
What? Not from me.
No, I just asked who sings that song. Because
I said, not me, and you said?
Good. I was hoping you would say Taylor Swift, and then I say, let's keep it that way.
I know.
But I think we played this game before, and you're getting a little too smart for me.
Are you guys going to have to take this outside?
Oh, probably. I get asked actually all the time when I'm out. I don't know if you do, Emily. It's just like, you and Emily don't get along, huh? I'm like, that is totally not true. We totally do. It's like we're like brothers and sisters, though. We just have like arguments, just like a regular family. So that's what I always say to them.
Yeah, and like it's like Annette and Brian are our parents, and we just fight. You're not old enough to be our parents, obviously. But yeah, we're talking about the Beach Boys. They're coming to Fallsview. We're going to be talking about HBO gearing up to release a documentary as part of its Music Box film series, and Lady Gaga joining the Netflix series Wednesday.
All right, sis. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, bro.
On this Friday.
Bruh.
See what's happening overseas in the markets. The Canadian dollar is up 6 basis points this morning, just above 71 cents US. Gold is down a little more than $4. Crude oil is down 75 cents to below $68 a barrel. In midday trading in Europe, markets are up in London, down just a little bit in Frankfurt and Paris.
Let's head to Asia on this Friday. Markets are up in Tokyo, but down in Hong Kong and Shanghai. North American markets on Thursday. Some slight gains for the TSX on Bay Street, some triple-digit losses for the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ. Let's see how they do as the trading week wraps up on this Friday, November the 15th.
The Ontario government has signed a $100 million deal with Elon Musk's SpaceX company. This is to bring high-speed internet to remote areas of rural and northern Ontario. The OnSat program, as it will be called, will be delivered through SpaceX's Starlink high-speed satellite internet system. OnSat will go live next summer. The $100 million investment from the province covers equipment and installation, but not monthly fees, which right now start at about $120 a month for home service.
Let's go stateside. A U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says more interest rate cuts, they are likely. Powell suggested the cuts might not be that much lower over the next few months. Powell said more rate cuts are likely underway because the economy's current trends and dynamics, they're expected to remain in place, at least in the short run. That includes a slowing job market and cooling inflation facilitated by rates that are still restrictively high levels. Holding borrowing costs at their current elevated rate could push up unemployment.
Okay, taking a break right now. Brian is back with your traffic for Friday morning and your 7-day forecast, including the weekend.
6:24 already on this Friday morning, and it's a fairly wet Friday morning. Now, it's not raining. It's just drizzle. It's light drizzle right now, and it's causing some wet roads, as you can see, but there's no problems on those highways. Oh, that camera was just there. Here's the QEW at Bronte. As you can see, things are moving nicely in both directions. No problems at Sheraton. And all right, let's go to our forecast here for the day today. Sigh. Temperatures at the moment. We are mild to start the day. Tuesday. Damp, as I mentioned, drizzle. 6 degrees Hamilton, 7 Grimsby, Toronto, and Mississauga. So there's that drizzle. 40% chance, but it could be on and off throughout the day today. But those are our sun times for the day. Sun comes up 7:14 now and goes down at 4:54. 7 and -1 are seasonal for this time of year. So we're sitting at 6 right now. That shows you how mild it is. And those are our records for today. And for school today, yeah, that drizzle could be on and off throughout the morning, even into the afternoon. But we should be 8 degrees for the first bell and 8 degrees for after school after we've hit that 9-degree high earlier in the day with that drizzle. 3 degrees overnight tonight, a little bit cooler. Tomorrow, a bit of sun. So we'll call it a mainly cloudy day, but at least we'll see some sun. 11 degrees on Saturday, 11 and cloudy on Sunday. Bit of sun for Monday, but a chance of a shower. And then it looks like it's going to be fairly gray Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's your forecast. That's it, Tim.
So California, thanks, Brian, is seeing its share of bear break-ins. Now it's seeing a fake one, I guess.
The California Insurance Department is accusing 4 people in Los Angeles of trying to collect nearly $142,000 in claims. They had said that a bear damaged their luxury vehicles. Those vehicles include a Rolls-Royce and 2 Mercedes.
Tell me there's video of this.
So they submitted video footage showing a bear rummaging through some of these vehicles. But the department says a biologist looked over the videos and confirmed it was clearly a person in a bear suit. Well, even the lines in the upholstery, like they're even lines. Okay, think about what a bear paw looks like. It's like,
Is this from Hottie? Is that what he said in the script?
Yes, I can't bear your jokes, Tim.
Well,
good one, Hottie.
I'm not even going to say any because they were very cool, but I'm not going to say anything.
And grizzly.
Yeah. All right. All right. Bear with us. We'll be back coming up after the break on your Friday. A little soggy out.
The Cub reported it.